One of the main reasons I've had so much success on my diet has been because of food swaps. Food swaps are often underrated, but by substituting the foods that you normally eat with lower calorie options that taste just as good is a way that you can guarantee success on your diet without having to suffer. Here are some of my diet staples that have allowed me to get lean and stay lean. This bread by Sara Lee is one that I just found recently. It's multi-grain, so it's healthier than white bread, but there are also lower calorie white bread options like 647 bread and Fiber One bread. 2 slices of this bread is only 90 calories, and compared to regular bread, that's a pretty big deal since 1 slice can be about 110 calories. I also really like these light multigrain English muffins. They're only 90 calories, and they're great options for putting scrambled eggs on or breakfast patties. I have breakfast patties from Trader Joe's. Those are 70 calories each, and they are really great. I also use light hamburger rolls. These are 90 calories per roll. If you can't find these specific ones, I get these at Stop & Shop. 647 also makes the same kind of rolls. For wraps, I really prefer these Mission Carb Balance wraps. 1 tortilla is only 70 calories, which is a pretty drastic difference from the typical tortillas that you'll see in the market. And this is just because they have so much fiber in them. As you can see, they have 15 grams of fiber just for 1 wrap. And that also really helps with satiety and gut health. Joseph Lavash wraps are also really great. They're only 60 calories per half of a flatbread, so 120 for the whole thing. But the whole thing is pretty giant, so you can make wraps with these or you can make pizzas. Another bread that I use to make pizzas are these pita breads by Joseph's. They are whole wheat and they use flax and oat. 1 pita is only 60 calories. I can actually make 2 giant flatbreads and 2 pitas, and that fits within my calorie goal for dinner. And so it's a lot of volume, but it's relatively low calorie when you compare it to like normal pizza. And honestly, to me, it tastes even better than normal pizza because I can make it how I like with the right amount of cheese and sauce. And I also put turkey on it as well. Another thing that I really like to do is to make fries. And so I use just regular old russet potatoes. I cut them up with a fry cutter, and then I put a little bit of avocado oil on, not too much, and I put them in the air fryer. I don't really crave French fries at all because these basically are French fries and they taste just as good, and they're definitely healthier and lower calories, so they help me to stick to my diet as well. This Pasta Zero has definitely saved me multiple times. For 113 grams, you get 20 calories per serving, and this whole entire bag is 45 calories. So what I'll do is I'll make 2 of these bags. That'll usually come out to about 100 calories once I weigh everything. It is a lot of volume. Like sometimes I can't even finish it even on a diet, and that is saying something for me. A good alternative to your typical pasta in the store is chickpea pasta or protein pasta. Typically, pasta does not have a lot of protein, and so it's really not nutritious for you. This is a really great option. It has 10 grams of protein per 2 ounces. You can even mix this with the Pasta Zero. Cauliflower rice is only 20 calories for 85 grams, so usually 1 bag comes out to about like 65 to 80 calories. I tried to make 2 bags of this, and honestly it was so much that I couldn't even finish it, so that just goes to show how much volume you really get out of this. So I have 1 bag, and I'll put it with like black beans, ground turkey, maybe a bit of Walden Farms. I highly recommend getting things that are prepackaged when you're on a diet just because of portion control. These Idahoan buttery home-style mashed potatoes, they're only 170 calories, and they actually do taste very good. Another prepackaged item that I really like is this Ben's Original Ready Rice, and if you pair that with like a low-calorie protein source, some vegetables, and maybe some beans, low-calorie sauce, you are definitely good to go for dinner. These oatmeal cups, they're only 160 calories for 1 packet, which is really great, and they're also good for on-the-go lunches. If you really like tacos, I highly recommend checking these out. They're mini taco bowls. They are only 160 calories for 4 of them. So these honestly can be as high or low calorie as you make them. It really just depends what you put inside. Here's an example of what I do for these taco boats. I basically put in some ground turkey, bell pepper, onions, taco sauce, and chili beans. I also put in fat-free mozzarella cheese as well. You can really just control the portions and make them how you want. This isn't necessarily a food swap, but it is just another idea. Instead of making pizzas, you can also use bell peppers, put turkey or your choice of meat with sauce and cheese, and I usually make about 8 of these, and they're pretty filling. They satisfy that craving for pizza, so I highly recommend giving these a try as well. One of the reasons that I saw so much success at the beginning of my diet was cutting out beef, because beef is so much higher in calories than ground turkey and chicken, and I didn't even realize that. And ground turkey just really goes with anything. Ground turkey is also a really great option for making burgers. I love making turkey burgers, and I use those light hamburger rolls that I showed. They come out to a lot lower calorie than if I were to have a regular burger, and I'm usually able to have 2 of them on a diet. Just finding ways to make the foods that you really enjoy in different ways that taste just as good to you is super important to sticking on a diet. And as someone who is addicted to burgers, that's how I've been managing on my diet. I also really like these Trader Joe's grilled chicken strips. They're lower sodium than other chicken breast strips that you'll find in the store. And again, these just really go with anything. I also use frozen grilled chicken strips from Trader Joe's. Again, lower sodium than the typical options that you'll find, and also pretty low calorie as well. They can really just go with anything. Chicken breast, good old chicken breast, is also just a really great option as well. I also have these sliced turkey breasts from Trader Joe's, which are also low calorie, and I use these for sandwiches usually. A non-meat alternative is this Too Good yogurt. Typically, I hate Greek yogurt, but this yogurt is actually like very good. It is a little bit expensive though, but 170 grams of it, which is a lot, is only 90 calories, and it has 13 grams of protein. I actually usually have about 450 grams of this. It definitely is a lot of volume, but it keeps me full and satiated, and it's so low calorie with a really high protein content. If you are sensitive to dairy, you could take lactate pills before you have it, and that pretty much just cancels out the negative effects. The Too Good yogurt also comes in single serving sizes, and they're only 80 calories with 12 grams of protein. So these are really great options for on-the-go lunches or on-the-go snacks. And it just honestly tastes like ice cream to me, so this is kind of like my alternative to ice cream, and I honestly don't even really crave ice cream because this kind of just satisfies that cool, creamy craving for me. Quest bars are definitely a staple in my everyday diet as well as my cutting diet. I love Quest bars. You can see I kind of have an addiction to them here. In addition to Quest bars, in my bucket, I have these Pop-Tarts. They're by Legendary Foods, and they're called Tasty Pastries. It doesn't taste 100% like a Pop-Tart, but I think it's about 80% of what you'd expect, which honestly on a diet is good enough. It's only 170 calories and 20 grams of protein, so it's a lot more nutritious than your typical Pop-Tart as well. In terms of Quest bars, this one is usually the one that I'll use the most on my diet. It's only 150 calories and 17 grams of protein. They also have a blueberry cobbler one that I love, that's 160 calories. I also just have a bunch of different flavors of Quest bars, and they all range from like 180 to 190 calories. Some of them are 200 calories. I also have pure protein bars. I prefer Quest, but those are good as well. Also, Quest does make cookies, and so this is their snickerdoodle option. It is 240 calories, which, you know, it's not the lowest calorie thing in the world, but I guess compared to other cookies, it's not terrible. I'm really just showing it because of the protein content. It has 15 grams of protein, and so if you are going to reach for a cookie, I just recommend reaching for one of these protein cookies because they are a little bit more nutritious. I don't recommend having these cookies all the time, just for, you know, when you're craving something sweet. This fat-free Kraft cheese is only 45 calories for 28 grams. It's 9 grams of protein as well. I use this cheese for my pizzas and for pasta, and the sauce that I use is this Hunt's crushed basil sauce. For 121 grams, which is half a cup, is only 45 calories. It only also has 4 grams of sugar, whereas a lot of sauce is going to have a lot more sugar than that, and not like an overabundance of sodium like a lot of other sauces as well. And especially if you put a lot of sauce on something, like if you're making lasagna or just a lot of pasta, the calories do make a difference. If you like peanut butter or almond butter, hazelnut butter, I definitely recommend getting this PB2 if you're on a diet. You can put it on bread, you can mix it in your oatmeal like I do. You can put it in yogurt or in smoothies. I also use it kind of as a dip for apples sometimes. It's only 60 calories for 2 tablespoons, and which I think is like half the amount of, you know, your typical peanut butter. And it has 6 grams of protein too, which is pretty good for 60 calories. There's also a cocoa version, which is 50 calories for 2 tablespoons. The taco sauce that I use is called Ortega. I use the mild one because, you know, I cannot tolerate spice very much. It's only 10 calories for a tablespoon, which is 16 grams. So usually I'll put in like up to 70 grams of this stuff and it still stays pretty low calorie. Walden Farms makes 0-calorie dressings. This honey barbecue sauce that I'm showing here. They make ketchup. They make a lot of different syrups. I actually really do like their maple syrup. It's pretty good. It really is kind of a hit or miss with Walden Farms. But yeah, this honey barbecue sauce is good and it's 0 calories. So honestly, you can't get much better than that. Another low-calorie condiment that I really like is this French honey Dijon mustard. It's only 10 calories for a teaspoon of it. Usually I'll use about like 30 grams of this, so usually it comes out to about 60 calories. If you like soup, I highly recommend Amy's Light and Sodium soups. They're all organic, and this one right here is minestrone. It's 190 calories for the entire can, 6 grams of protein, and only 440 milligrams of sodium. Usually soups are upwards of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, and so this is a pretty huge difference. And it's also super, super low in calories. It's also really healthy as well. It has a lot of lentils and organic vegetables and potatoes, and I highly recommend giving these a try. Another thing I want to mention is frozen meals. And so a lot of people get the idea that frozen meals are so bad for you and they have so much sodium and they're all processed and unhealthy, but some frozen meals are actually pretty good. The one I'm showing here is by Simply Steam, and Simply Steam has a lot of really great low-calorie options. This is their rice pilaf. It has just rice, mushrooms, carrots, and peas, and it is only 200 calories, so this has been a staple on my diet for sure. It is kind of a lot of sodium, but you know, a lot of sodium once in a while won't kill you if you balance it out with lower sodium meals throughout the day, which is what I do. I put some ground turkey in it just to add some protein, but yeah, definitely a staple in my diet. I didn't show healthy choice here, but they have like different chicken options and healthy vegetables that are pretty low sodium. They also just have like cauliflower, mashed potatoes, and things like that. I didn't really show these, but they're Bell & Evans chicken burgers. They're only 160 calories per 4 ounces, and they have a lot of protein. And another frozen meal is this Bird's Eye Power Blend. Bird's Eye is another brand that I highly, highly recommend checking out. This is their Italian style blend. It has like buckwheat, broccoli, kale, white beans, and there's lentils in it as well. It's only 350 calories for the entire bag, 440 milligrams of sodium, so definitely not a lot compared to like other frozen things. And it's also 16 grams of protein, which is a lot. There's 15 grams of fiber, which is also a lot as well, and relatively low sugar. So this is a really great option if you're on a diet, and I highly recommend checking these brands out. I also just pair this with some turkey to add a little bit more protein. I also just want to mention desserts. If you are someone who craves something sweet after dinner, then I definitely recommend these fudge pops, which are only 40 calories, Enlightened bars, which are about 100 calories, some are even 80 or 90. Halo Top also makes ice cream bars, and those are also low calorie, and of course just Halo Tops and Nick's ice cream. There's a lot of different flavors that you can try, and they're all pretty low calorie. One tub usually has about 280 to 360 calories, so if you have space for it at the end of the day, you can eat the whole tub and not feel guilty. Obviously, it doesn't taste exactly like Ben & Jerry's, but it is still pretty good, and it really satisfies that sweet, creamy craving that you might have at the end of the day. There's also those Quest cookies that you can try if you're also craving something like a cookie at the end of the day, or a brownie. Quest has, you know, brownie bars and little like chocolate cookies, so you can even have something like that as well. For milk, I use unsweetened vanilla almond breeze. It's only 30 calories per 1 cup. It also has no sugar, and it's just a great option for putting in coffee, for putting in your cereal. I use it in my oatmeal. If your milk is usually 90 calories, if you switch to 30 calories over time, that can make a drastic difference in your diet. If you really crave like sweet drinks, I recommend either obviously switching to their diet counterpart, or I recommend trying BCAAs. BCAAs aren't necessarily the most helpful supplement if you already get in enough protein, which is about 1 gram per pound of body weight. But I absolutely love how these taste, and on a diet, I'll usually consume these intra-workout just in case to make sure I'm getting in enough protein to recover. These are from Bucked Up, and this is the peach mango flavor, and it's so good. I had a free sample come in the mail, and right after I ordered the entire tub. Staying hydrated with water is one of the most important things as well. Just make sure that you keep filling up on fluids, and it will usually help you manage your appetite as well. So I hope these have given you some ideas. So there's a lot of different options that you can make with the ingredients that I've showed you, and I hope that you give these ingredients a try. Just having them in your kitchen instead of your typical options will make a world of a difference when it comes to your diet. And I hope that you got some inspiration, and then it helps you stay on track with your calorie goals on your diet. And hopefully it won't even feel like you're dieting at the end of the day, because you'll basically be eating the same foods that you enjoy, just in slightly different alternative options that taste just as good. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click here for more videos on nutrition and some recipe ideas, and I will see you in the next video.